everyone, and it is another Flossy Friday. Today is May 15th, and I still have no idea how is it already the middle of May? Can somebody please answer that for me? Because I don't get it. I don't get it anymore. Okay. This last week has been a roller coaster. I had all of these plans to like get page 3 done on my Haid and try and get page 1 done and hopefully start page 4 and like all of this stuff, and none of it happened. I did not work on my Haid at all this week, and it's not because I didn't want to, but I'm just gonna flat out be honest, because I think a lot of us who deal with anxiety outside of what's going on right now, people are dealing with it who don't normally have it. And just last weekend it got really bad for like a day or two, and it just mentally exhausts you. It physically and emotionally exhausts you, and I just couldn't put my attention on something that is so detailed, and just so much like back and forth. I just couldn't do it. I didn't have the mental capacity to do that. And that's fine. It's totally fine. So, did I do any stitching this week? Yes, but not a whole lot. And I did a little bit of a different kind of stitching as well, and I'll show you that too. And I'm really curious, well, we'll get into it. I'm really curious if y'all would want a video more on the other, because I have stuff that I could like show. So, okay. That's kind of like the update. I guess like the rest of the update is still working out. Still working with my trainer just from home. Potter is good. He just had a snackaroo, if you could hear him in the background, and he's hanging up on his little perch on his chair. Can I turn it enough? Kind of. Not far enough. So, otherwise, I found out Wednesday night. Yeah, I found out Wednesday night that we did get extended to work from home through the end of May. So, as of right now, I'll go back the first Monday in June. Because I think June 1st is on a weekend. That or June 1st is a Friday. No, June 1st is a Monday. So I would start back June 1st as of right now. But everything is subject to change because they're basing it based off of agency numbers, not state or US numbers. So there's that update. Otherwise, everything else is fine. Still planting the rose garden. More were bought. They have not been planted officially yet. Pretty sure we lost the one that had the massive root shock. It is possible that the other one that got root shock will not make it after this year, but we're hopeful, and we'll just have to see what happens. But all the other ones are doing absolutely fantastic. So I have 5 that are doing really well, 1 that's iffy, and then 1 that died. It died. And then the one in the pot. Anyways, so, veggies are starting to grow. Like the squash and zucchini are starting to get their flowers. The peppers have little tiny little buds. I need to buy a hummingbird feeder because I've never seen them before. Sorry about that. I've never seen them before in my yard, and now I see them all the time, and so I need to get a feeder. But they've been really hard to find. I also need 2 cocoa liners, and nowhere in my town has them, so I might have to order them off of Amazon. Weirdest thing to have to order off Amazon, but it is what it is. So yeah, I'm really excited. There's some stuff getting worked on the outside of my house, like some electrical work that's been needed to be done. Hopefully is going to finally get done after 2 years of trying to find an electrician who would actually come out to my house in this town, for like almost 2 years. So, that's going to be exciting. So yeah. Okay. I have a little bit of haul. I did actually stitch, and then I have other things to talk about. So what did I actually stitch? Well, my 2 Santas came in, so I had to work on the Secret Santa. So if you are working on this from Hands On Design, and you don't want to know what the Secret Santa looks like, then sorry. This is 50% of it. So it says tidings in this cute little banner and has this really adorable Argyle print on the bottom. Very preppy looking. I really like it. This is a 32 count even weave by Fabric Flare. I'm not sure the actual name of it. I just call it Snowflake Hearts. But yeah. So I got this caught up. Had I finished the second one yet? No. Okay. I don't want to have to take it out of the hoop, but I might have to. No, I won't. Okay. So I got the Secret Santa caught up with the other 2. I finished the Santa Key. So this is the second one. So we have Holly St. Nick is number 1, the secret one, which he's halfway up to date. So there's 4 more parts. The Santa Key, and I did start the 3rd Santa, and this one is Silent Night ? So I've stitched almost all the red. There's red underneath these little houses and one more line down here. And it'll say Silent Night down here, and he's playing a trumpet. There's some musical notes and like a couple stars and some holly and things like that. So I still have a little bit to go on him, but I did work on him. So I finished number 2. I got number 9 caught up, and I started number 3, and I've made pretty good progress on number 3. That's literally all that I've stitched this week. Like I said, it was a long week. But I had a couple of nights where I did absolutely nothing creative. I just needed to rest my mind, and I brought out something that I have not touched in 5 years. Should I show that last instead of skipping around? This is what you're here for, right? Organized chaos. Okay, so let me just show what came in the mail. I'm really excited about this. It finally got here. This is the Emma Congdon, also known as Stitchrovia, on Instagram and on Etsy, and this is her cross stitch book, Cross Stitch for the Soul. You can get it from Amazon here in the States. I know there are a couple other places that you can get it overseas, but in the States you can get it from Amazon. And I believe you can also get it on a Kindle version. I'm a little behind on my water today, so my throat's a bit dry. And the way this is set up, I can show you all of the patterns, and they are gorgeous, so I really want to show them to you. Because this book was like $25, I think, maybe like 26, 27 with shipping, and tax and all that, and it's worth it, guys. It is so worth it. It's so nice. It's like nicely bound. On the inside, there's like common like tools and materials, It even goes through the different types of fabrics. Some of the patterns are 1 to 2 pages. Some are all the way up to 4 pages. So this first one is called, does it give the name? No. Okay. This one says, start each day with a grateful heart. It's just super colorful and beautiful, and it's a giant heart. It's just really pretty. This next one says, be not afraid of going slowly, be afraid of only standing still. Chinese proverb. And there are 20 patterns in here, and they are all fabulous. Bloom where you are planted. Just want to make sure that I'm in frame. When life gives you lemons, make lemonade. And I don't know if anybody else has done like a true like flip through. That's why I'm doing this. Other people may have, and I just haven't seen it. A smooth sea never made a skillful sailor. I really like this one. This kind of pattern just looks really cool. I'm a tri-sigma, and sea themed things are one of our favorite things. Every day might not be good, but there is some good in every day. I truly believe in that one. Believe in yourself. I really like this one. I would probably change the colors personally, but I really, really like that one. No act of kindness, however small, is ever wasted. ASOS, or I think that's right. I probably said that wrong. When it rains, look for rainbows. When it's dark, look for look for stars. I have seen on Instagram, and I can't remember who it is off the top of my head, but somebody has already started this one, and it is so pretty. A good companion shortens the longest road. Greek proverb. They're all just so positive, and it's just, even if I don't want to start one of these like tomorrow, quite yet, even just looking through this just makes me so happy. Like, they're just all so bright and colorful and positive, and that's just what we need today. Good things come to those who wait. The best come to those who do. My throat really is scratchy. Always be yourself, because the people that matter don't mind, and the ones that mind don't matter. Really like that one. The best view comes after the hardest climb. We're heading towards the end. Love all, trust a few, do wrong to none. William Shakespeare. This one will be getting stitched. Do what makes you happy. I really, really love this. Really love this one. Especially those colors on the navy. Just pops. There are always flowers for those who want to see them. Henry Matisse. Some of the colors, it's a little hard to read who the quote is by with the back stitch. At least in the picture for me. I don't have the best eyesight. But that one is beautiful. Do small things with great love, Mother Teresa. This one will probably also get done. I really like this one. There's at least 5 in here that I definitely want to do. Probably will end up doing more than that, but there's definitely at least 5. Worry does not take away tomorrow's troubles. It takes away today's peace, which after this week, I need to stitch this one. I need this reminder all the time. I know several people who we need that reminder all the time. Not to be mean, just sometimes you just need it, right? This one is definitely gonna get stitched. The best is yet to come. Oh my, I love it. This one is happening. That one is happening. And like this one is 98 by 97. So it's 7 by 7 on 14 count. And you can just make it smaller by stitching it on something, obviously, higher count. It always seems impossible until it's done, Nelson Mandela. I also really, really like this one. Gorgeous. And I think that's the last one, actually. It is. And then in the back, it has different like cross stitch techniques, and it also has a conversion chart for Anchor and DMC, and some like information about Emma and all that kind of stuff. So it's a really fantastic book. It's beautifully put together. Now I will say to make working copies of these, because I'm a highlight girl. So, I mean, I'm not going to highlight in this book or doodle in this book at all. I want to keep it as pristine as possible. I am going to have to make a working copy once like if I'm doing a pattern like in the middle or in the back, I might have to break the spine a little. That's the only downside. It does have the little groove here to help with that, but you may over time end up breaking the spine some. But that's just kind of how it is with all cross stitch books, I think, if like you're making working copies. Okay. So one thing though that I am going to work on tonight and over the weekend is I'm going to work on my Chinese Zodiac. Part 2 came out where from the little mouse to the tiger, you're filling in the cute little lanterns and flowers and the beautiful bamboo fan that goes in this corner. So I absolutely love how they're releasing this, where I think from now on, like, we got the rest of this corner and all of this little area. So then like the next area, I don't know if it's going to be here or here, but you'll probably get 3 more animals, and then the next month the corner, 3 more animals, the corner, 3 more animals, the corner. I really, really love that they're releasing the borders a little bit at a time, and like mixing it in with the releases. I really, really like that. That's one thing that I always kind of got overwhelmed with, is you'd get all of the borders and I don't want to always stitch them all at one time. The people who do, y'all are fantastic. It's just not for me. Okay. So, also this weekend / the next 2 weeks, I'm supposed to be working on Titanic. I will still be working on my Santas, on my lunch breaks. Even though I'm not going to the office starting next week, I will still be working on my Santas on my lunch break, because they're just quick and easy and I want to keep them up to date. And after they're done, I was going to move on to, or up to date, I was going to move on to some other small things that were already started and close to completion. But I think I'm going to pick back up the Scary Apothecary series. And in between doing the Santas whenever they get released, I'm going to try and get that series finished. I have 3 out of the 9 done. So I think I'm just going to keep rolling with the hands-on design banner stuff because I have the stuff to finish both series, and Heather is going to help me out with that. And I want to send them all at the same time. You know what I mean? So there's that. But I am supposed to start working on Titanic. I'm not going to completely be putting away my Haid. I didn't work on it anymore past recording last week, but this is where page 3 left off, just as a reminder. I'm not going to completely be putting her away. I want to, one thing that I have said over and over and over the last few years is I really want to work on her more. I may not leave the hoop on the page that it's currently on. I may move the hoop back to the solid black page, and I'm gonna leave out a bobbin of 310 with a needle, and I'm gonna slowly work on like the full black pages for however long, but I'm gonna leave her out at least to work on that page. And if I end up finishing that page, maybe I'll put a little bit more in on like an actual like color heavy page, and then maybe start another mostly black page, so that way I make more progress than a page a year, you know what I mean? So that is something that I am dedicated to doing this year. So she is going to stay out. So you may see her again before the end of this month if I put anything in on her. But I am going to work on Titanic this next week. Maybe not 100% only Titanic, because like I said, I do want to get my Chinese Zodiac up to date. I want to stay up to date with that one. And the way that they're releasing them, it looks like there's a whole lot on this page, but it's not that bad. So, that's gonna happen. And, the other thing is the Santas, maybe Scary Apothecary. But another thing that has been going on is Cassandra and I are both quilters as well, and I have not quilted in almost 5 years because I have pretty much only cross-stitched for the last 5 years. I've made a few things here or there, but not like put together a quilt. And the last quilt that I cut out everything for, I have one more quilt that's relatively planned out. I have, I think, enough fabric to do the whole top. I don't have any fabric for the back yet, but I think I'm just going to do a solid because I can't find big enough fabric in that color line anymore, and it's fine. Solids are great. But I designed this quilt based off of 3 fabrics, 2 in the same line, and 1 that I just wanted to mesh into it. I doodled it in a graph paper composition notebook. It's where I doodle quilt designs in. And I designed this around these 3 fabrics, and I had all of the pieces for the blocks cut out. The only thing that was not cut out were the border pieces. And so I put together the blocks. Well, I still have to finish putting together. I have A, B, C, and D blocks. I have 5 of each. The 20 blocks with the first outline border is going to be 60 by 80, which perfectly covers the top of a queen size bed. This was supposed to be the quilt that was going to be my next quilt whenever I got my new queen bed for Christmas in 2014. I never finished making it because cross stitch kind of just took over my life, which is fine. I'm not complaining. And it just kind of like sat there and like waited for me to do it. And I just never got the calling to go sit in my sewing room and not work on a cross stitch. Well, this week after talking, and we both were like pulling out our quilting stuff and looking at some of our things, it was just kind of like, we need to give more time to this other craft. And so I started putting the blocks together. The A's and the B's are completely done. I'm almost done putting together the C's. There's a long sashing that puts the top section with the bottom section for the block. And I'm almost done with the C's, putting that last piece in and connecting the two halves. And for the D's, I have to connect them, the two halves. But I did a lot in 2.5 hours yesterday, and it was supposed to be made into an oversized queen. I'm not making it that big anymore. I'm just gonna stop at the 60 by 80, so one border outside of the center panel, and I'm gonna make it an oversized throw blanket, because I would rather my next super large quilt be the other one that I have all the fabric for, except for obviously backing. Okay, so this is my finished A blocks, and I didn't bring the B ones out because I still need to iron them. But all the seams have been ironed open, even from the center sash. So this quilt I gotta square them up, so don't judge too harshly. I gotta square them up a little bit on the one side. But this quilt I named My London Gardens, and this fabric right here, I forget the designer name, but it was called My Town, Our Town. It was called Our Town. And I colored in one house in each square. Now, I've only done 8 out of the 20, but I can keep doing them. Putting them together doesn't prevent me from finishing up the coloring. I'm trying to find... This one may not have a color. Oh, it's up here. It's underneath the pin. This one's a little pink house. And if you've never colored on fabric, you just use Crayola colors. There's that one, and then this guy. So I do need to go in and color 12 more houses, which I can easily do once they're done being put together. But this is something that I want to get the top finished this weekend. And I'm piecing the back a little bit. I'm taking the smaller roses, and I'm going to have a big portion of smaller roses, a band of the green that I used for the grass, and it's ombre, so it has light to dark green. And in the squares, I made sure to like turn them different directions. So this one's going this way, this one's going vertical. So that way they all looked different. So it's gonna be this fabric green and then this fabric again for the back. And it's non-directional, so it doesn't matter. Well, it doesn't matter if they do it upside down or not, but obviously it will be directional length and lengthwise. But so I still got to color in some of the houses and finish putting the other blocks together, but I'm gonna work on that tomorrow, and I'm gonna get the top put together. The outside border is the green. I've already explained what the back is gonna look like, and then the binding, once it's done, is going to be this like grayish brown color. It's a little bit more brown in person, but it is pulling the gray on camera, but it is a gray undertoned brown. The large floral and the small floral are from the same line, and I cannot remember the name of the line. I do have some of the salvage, so I can give that information at some point, but I love the way the larger pieces came out. Some of them have like whole flowers, some of them just have like leaves, some of them will be partial flowers. So I just love the way that came out. Like here's a giant hibiscus looking flower, and there's another one. So anyways, my concept for how I designed this was like you would have a little neighborhood and there would be like a house in the neighborhood that like I wanted to stand out. That's why I colored a house. And these would be like the roads in between all the neighborhoods, and there would be like little parks and, you know, just like scenery. So anyways, that quilt has been in my arsenal, all the pieces cut except, like I said, except for the borders, and for like the backing piece. I had all the stuff for it, until had all of that cut out, and I just stopped working on it. And so I finished cutting out for the backing, so I need to piece the backing and the final, what now is going to be the final border. So the first border, the final border, today, and I'm going to cut out the binding later because this fabric pulls so bad. So I don't want to cut it too soon. But yeah, I want to get it done and ready so that way I can scour my quilt guild and see if somebody would be able to quilt it for me. And then I want to get working on figuring out exactly how I want to do my next quilt for my bed, because my current quilt on there is the one from my previous mattress, which was a little bit smaller. It was a full size. So it works, but it's not big enough. And so I want to make an oversized, definitely an oversized queen, possibly a king to go on my bed, just that way it's massive. But let me know if y'all want to see more about my quilting stuff. I just wanted to throw it into this video because it's something else that's been on my mind that I've been wanting to work on, and I finally did, and it's crafty and it's sewing related, just in a different way. But if y'all want to see like some of the fabrics that I have, if you want to see like my setup, if you want to see like maybe like my doodle notebook, there's not a whole lot in there, but there are some quilts doodled out. If you want to see the quilt tops from my great grandmother that I need to figure out what to do with them, all that kind of stuff. If that's something that interests you, let me know in the comments down below, because as y'all know, I like chatting with y'all down in the comments. So let me know if that would be of interest to you. Like, would you want it in these weekly videos? Like, if I work on something, would you just like for me to show it here? Would you like its own video? Just let me know. Because I used to do quilts all the time. So that's something that I haven't done in a while, and it felt really, really good to sit at the sewing machine and it not be to just make a little pillow for cross stitch. So it just felt really good, and to like exercise that muscle again of figuring out all the quilty things. And so yeah, I got really excited about that, and I would love to share it with you guys if you're really interested. And that's basically what happened this week and what's going to happen this weekend and the week coming up. So next week I can probably show like my quilt top. I'll have Zodiac updated. I'll have more of my Santas done and some of Titanic done too. So that's just kind of where I'm at for this week. I hope that y'all have a fantastic Friday. I hope that you've had a great week and have a great weekend and week coming up. Stay safe, sane, stitching, And I will talk to y'all next week. Talk to me down in the comments. I love it. And yeah, I'll see y'all next Friday. Bye, guys.